Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we are here with a Smoke Devil Slayer guide for old school RuneScape in my endless adventure to make as many Slayer guides and just guides as possible. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like. On top of that, got plenty of links you can check me out and support me down below, and I'd appreciate it greatly. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the guide. So to start with Smoke Devils, should you kill them? In my opinion, yes, almost undoubtedly. I think everyone should kill them. First off, they're amazing XP in the sense that they're the best bursting or barraging task that you can get. So if you want XP, it's amazing for that. And you also have the potential to kill the boss if you'd like. The Thermonuclear Smoke Devil can also be killed as this task, and there's a link to that down below if you'd like to check out a guide for that. A pretty decent boss, not a top tier boss by any means, but definitely one worth killing in my opinion. Either way, whether you want XP or bossing kills, there's an option for you. This one will be talking more about the XP method. For the requirements, you'll need 93 Slayer, and then beyond that, Ice Burst or Ice Barrage to be able to cast the ancient spells that I'll be talking about today. Smoke Devils are weak to everything, however, we'll only be using magic in this guide. Their attack style is range based, and their max hit is a 20. However, the max hit doesn't matter because we will be praying the entire time we are there. As far as what you can expect loot wise, they drop occult necklaces at a 1 in 512 rate, hard clues at a 1 in 128 rate, and elites at a 1 in 750 clip. Overall, the average GP per kill is a little over 1.5k. Realistically, if you pick up everything, it can be 2, even close to 3k. However, with the bursting and barraging methods, I assume people don't pick up a lot of it. There's just too much going on. For the mage options here, I have 2 different setups. One's a little bit lower and the other on the right hand side is a much more high level setup. Both very accurate representations of what would be a good way to go about getting here. Armor wise, really just looking for a max magic DPS. That's essentially what you're wanting. Also, a weapon that will allow you to be able to automatically cast any of these ancient spells that we'll be using. The upgrades are pretty straightforward. You could switch in a mage's book or a malediction ward for the book slot if you'd like. Also beyond that, if you're going to be taking bracelets of slaughter, you won't need a glove slot. And then on to the XP rates that really demonstrate as to why Smoke Devils are such a good high-level task. So for Slayer on the low end, you could get about 70k XP per hour, and on the high end, you could get 100 to 120k XP per hour. So it can really get pretty crazy there at the high end. If you really want to maximize it to the most, you could bring an alt account that then kind of pulls in Smoke Devils to the pile that you're bursting or barraging, and that will make it just so good. But if you don't have that availability, that's perfectly fine. This is still going to be one of the best tasks out there for Slayer, and a big reason as to why I would recommend you do this task. So now for the inventory and how to get there. We'll start with the inventory. Here I have a cannon set along with some cannonballs, a teleport to get away from this task, and a teleport to get to a fairy ring. Then I also have a Drayman staff for said fairy ring, and beyond that I have some runes for the spells that we'll be using here. I have Ice Barrage. You could also have Ice Burst. And a Butte Heart is optional, however preferred, as you get the nice magic boost from that. Some Bracelets of Slaughter if you're into that, and then 6 Prayer Potions and 2 Staminas. You don't really need that much of either of those. I just like to have too many rather than too few. Best way to get there is going to be the fairy ring code BKP. You can use that from a fairy ring in your house or from the Relicus Slayer cave. There's one right out there, so you could have options for that as well. Just teleport there with the Slayer ring and then go right outside, and that's another quick fairy ring. Once you get through though, just go ahead and run to the northeast and you'll find your way on over to the Smoky Cave. Once you're there, go ahead and enter and head on to the north. I have ground markers on my client that allows me to mark a couple tiles here. There is one up here that is a cannon spot where I'm going to go ahead and lay my cannon down. This one to the south is just a nice indicator for whenever I am luring the Smoke Devils up and down, north and south in this room. Essentially, there's 2 ways that you can lure the Smoke Devils. As you can see, there's a big old area here. You can either do it along those bones, or you can do it to the south and just by running north and south. Personally, I used to do the bone method. I don't prefer it anymore. I will show them both though. So go ahead and throw on your protect range and then drop your cannon down. The cannon will do all the hard work while you just kind of stand and hang out. I'd say just turn your auto retaliate off and go ahead and cast whatever spell you are going to be using. From there, run to the north a little bit and also run to the south. This way, all of the monsters that your cannon is hitting can then aggro you. Upon running to the south, as you can see here, it essentially lures all of them into this nice little pile. From there, you can just go ahead and attack it. Once you get it frozen pretty well, I'd go back up here and then start to refill the cannon. Keeping the cannon constantly going is very important when you're using this north-south method. because it allows you to constantly be luring them in. So it's very helpful in that regard. As you can see, just got another one down there. There's more coming, and they'll start to like align themselves along the side. That's why we'll be running north and south, because it essentially just filters them all in here. So it's very strange. I'll go ahead and do an example of running back up to the north. Typically, you don't want to run too much. Typically, the pile is going to be stuck right in the southern area of the cannon, so you'll have a nice little cluster to go off of. Always attack in the center of these types of piles, that way you have the most amount of monsters available to you. And as you can see, I have a really good pile down there, along with some extra smoke devils and some up here that are also aggroing me. So once you end up getting a good bit of them to the south, then you can run to the north. They'll kind of filter back on in, and then you can repeat the process just by going north and south. Now all these ones from the north will filter on down. I'll stand right here, and we'll continue to go again with another spot right here. As you can see, still a ton of smoke devils. I've been killing them the whole time. So this is why I like the north-south method. There's a lot less time where you're sitting there trying to get them all in a nice little cluster. As you can see, a little bit hard to manage the inner cluster in a sense, because sometimes if you run a little too far, maybe some will get dragged. So as long as you're staying within these markers, I would say you're going to have a really good time. That marker right there to the north, along with this marker right here to the south. You can go a little bit higher or lower than that. However, it will drag your cluster further south and further north, and will allow for more variance in the task. But if you just run between these two spots, essentially the room will always crowd together right there, and it offers you a really nice location to go ahead and burst these. Now, again, I said I would show the other one, and I will do it, but I believe that this is by far a better way to go about it. Now, the alternative option to stacking up the smoke devils is to use these bones over here. By standing to the south, you'll grab all of the northern smoke devils, and by standing to the west, you'll grab all of the eastern smoke devils, and then by standing to the north, you'll grab the southern ones. Whenever you go to stand to the north, I'd recommend standing one tile to the north of the smoke devils. That way, if you stand under them, they will sort of separate and form their own little groups, and you don't want that. So once you have the south, the north, and the west all lured, then just go on over here and start to barrage that pile, and you'll have a nice little stack. I don't really recommend this as much. There's just more steps involved and less attacking that's being done. So in my opinion, it's just not the best way to go about it. It's also a little bit more fickle in the sense that sometimes the piles get messed up a little bit and stuff like that. But it's another great way of going about it if you're struggling with the middle setup. It's very easy over here next to the bones, very simple. Just stand on 3 different sides and you'll have them stacked in 3 different ways, and then you have a nice little pile to go ahead and burst. But yeah, that is going to be it for the Smoke Devil guide. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Anything you'd like to tell me, would love to hear it down below in a comment. And if you want to see more videos like this as soon as I go live, make sure to subscribe. Also, you can check me out on stream right after this video goes live, link down below. But with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.